What's going on, everyone? How are you doing today? It's Anger Roleplay, and today I want to show you my Whirlwind zDPS BARB, which is a part of the meta in Season 12. You know, if you know me, I don't really like playing supports. I don't like playing zDPS. I hate fucking support meta, and I hate the fucking meta. But at this point of the game, you literally are forced to play the group if you really want to get high paragon, you want to be competitive, high on the leaderboards, if you really have some goals, you really have to play fucking groups and play support if you're not lucky to be part of the so-called meta. Right now the meta is the necromancer and basically the zDPS for the speed rifts, of course, not for the push builds, but for the speed rifts. zBARB, znecro, and 2 DPS necromancers are the meta. And I want to show you this setup, how it works, and explain in detail how this shit behaves in the Great Rift. So this is the setup here. This is practically the Whirlwind, but it's just 4 pieces instead of the full 6 pieces. We don't really need the 6 pieces because we do no damage here. We are basically the support, providing healing for the necromancers, providing control comparing effects, reduction, damage reduction, and all of this shit. So the gear is Lyric's Crown as a helm, the stats strength with life on hit or resistance, it doesn't matter. And first thing that I really want to say is that the most prioritized stat that you would have is the pickup radius here. And I have a pretty low pickup radius here, which is really hard to get because you need the secondary rolls on nearly every piece of gear, and for this you have to drop a lot of toughness like resistance and armor and that as well if your gear is not really perfect. But basically the biggest stat that you need to work towards is the pickup radius, because it's basically you are doing what you're doing across the rift. You're just picking fucking globes for the necromancers so that they can cast more Ratma mages and destroy and obliterate the whole fucking shit ahead. So basically this is a sort of healing. It makes picking globe faster. You don't need to go to a fucking globe in every corner. So pickup radius really helps a lot towards your progression and towards the progression of your group as well. So pickup radius should be on every fucking slot possible, and this is basically the first top priority. So the stats: Lyric's Crown with diamond hair, strength with life on hit or all-res, with the secondary as really good to have pickup radius. Yeah, the chest is Achilles cuirass, strength with life on all-res, whatever on the secondary pickup radius. The shoulders are Mantle of Chanting. This is like the perfect shoulder, strength with life, CDR, and I re-rolled my pickup radius to 2 yards here. The gloves are Gauntlet of the Waist, strength with all-res, life on hit, doesn't matter, all-res is better, CDR, and the secondary, if you can see, is I have pickup radius here as well. The pants are also the waist set, strength with all-res, will be really good to have pickup radius here as well. Pickup radius fucking everywhere, guys. The boots are strength with all-res armor, once again the waist set, pickup radius here. The belt is the Pride of Cassius for the maximum ignore pain uptime, and this is very important. Pride of Cassius is one of the first priorities you could ever have on the zDPS BARB. The stats are basically just strength with all-res life, and the secondary of course is pickup radius. 2 rings are Oculus ring with basically with life on hit or strength life on hit on CDR, with as much legendary power as possible, pickup radius as well. The second ring is the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac to help you with the cooldowns, because you really hit a lot of things here. And the stats would be attack speed, CDR, and RCR here, with of course pickup radius here. The braces are the Nemesis braces. The stats would be a strength with all-res, life per second, or life on hit, it doesn't matter. And pickup radius here as well. Now this is the best amulet they would have, and this is the shitty Ronald's Locket, and the reason why it's there is it can roll with up to 6 yards pickup radius as well, which is the most you can get in this fucking game. The second best option actually is the Ass of Johan. This is the one, and you should have just strength, wit, and CDR here. This is very also good, and it helps just grouping shit a lot, but no, this pickup radius is absolutely the best to have. So like I said, this is basically the armor pieces. Now for the weapons is the pull catus, because it gives us generation and incredible amount of move speed. It's now generous fury up to 15 fury, as well as gives us increased attack speed and movement speed. But don't forget that this increased speed is multiplicative, and it also drains our fury really fast. That's why I know some people can recommend you getting a lot of fury here in your Paragon. I don't personally recommend it, just it doesn't really help you a lot. So just get something like this, strength with CDR, and put Amethyst there for life on a hit as well. The rest of the gems are diamonds for damage reduction, and the DPS gems or the zDPS gems, if I would say that, basically the gem of infectious toxin, because the fact that enemies get poisoned and take 10% increased damage from all sources, and also it's a debuff, they deal 10% less damage. Another gem is Ice Blink, and for the Ice Blink we use Rend Mutilate, and I will explain later on. Basically Rend Mutilate with Ice Blink slows the enemies, chills them, and enemies with chill have 10% increased chance to be critically hit, which is pretty good. I just do it for the really massive packs and the elites as well. And the third gem is Gogok of Swiftness. Is basically for CDR and a bit more dodge chance. This is pretty good when it's really smooth spamming of all skills possible, so Gogok is the third best gem out there. Now let's take a look for the cube as well. In the cube we have Ingeom, and another good option here is actually Selenium, but since Selenium has now internal cooldown and doesn't spam globes now, it's pretty shit. So to be honest, Selenium is not that good at all. Just use Ingeom and you're good to go. And for the really fast clears of Great Rifts, Ingeom is still exceptionally strong for this. Here I have Chilling Exchange. You can switch this with the Pride of Casus if you have a really good ancient Pride of Casus with 6 second ignore pain duration. I don't have it, so use Chilling Exchange. Chilling Exchange has a much bigger range for increased movement speed. Using Warcry increases the movement speed for our allies by 40%, which is massive move speed. And here's the Ring of Whirlwind to have us basically the 3 pieces of waste, so we could get the 4-piece bonus here. And 4-piece bonus is we get damage reduction. That's it. Basically this is it, guys. For the skill on the left button, there's kind of 3 options here. For the most part of the game you will be using Wind Shear of the Whirlwind rune, because it gives us fury every time we hit the enemies, and basically it just works very good towards a Killer's Cuirass bonus, because you need to keep up your fury a lot to help generating the bonus of the Killer's Cuirass. So that really helps with this. In the very early game, when you don't really have really big problems surviving and a Killer's Cuirass doesn't really work for you at all, you can use Blood Funnel. This will greatly boost your recovery. And in the end game, I think I will drop Wind Shear and go with Hurricane and drop another extra passive for the Weapon Master. So I think that Hurricane is the absolutely GG. If you have a lot of toughness, you don't really die, you have no problems generating your fury, then Hurricane with the pools and all shit is really good. And I also use Hurricane in my Whirlwind build for the speed farming, and it's exceptionally strong as well. So Hurricane and Wind Shear are the 2 best runes here in the late game. But Wind Shear is much easier because you didn't really need to worry about a Killer's Cuirass bonus, you don't really need to worry about generating fury at all. On right button is Rend Mutilate. This is pretty cool rune. Affected enemies are chilled and take 10% increased damage from all sources. So this is basically a pretty nice buff, especially on the elites when you rend them. It also procs and walks towards our Ice Blink here as well. The first button is Warcry, Veterans Warning. This is the Warcry for the Chilling Exchange for movement speed towards our Necromancers, as well as for us, and as well as dodge chance for us as well. Veterans Warning is the rune that gives you the most toughness of all these runes as well. If you really have problematical fury generation, like I said, in the very early game, you can use Charge as well. Here is Sprint Force March. This is mandatory. This is another movement speed boost for all our group as well. Ignore Pain Mode rule, another thing that is extremely important for our group, and this is very important to keep this up and spam all the time when possible. Allies within 50 yards gain 25% damage reduction and immunity to compelling pattern effect for 5 seconds, which is very good. No frozen can freeze you, no jailer, no other shit. The only thing that still fucks you up is all kind of wormhole and vortex, but everything else doesn't work. It's all good. It's very important to keep this up all the time. This is why you need a lot of cooldown reduction as well as in-jump in the cube and everything else. And threatening shoutfelt, there's a couple of options here as well. You can use Grim Harvest for more globes generation. This is when your Z necro is really terrible, but I can say that just find a better Z necro and let him spawn the globs, because it literally works like this. A zDPS necro spawns the fucking globs, you grab the globs and buff and debuff the enemies, as well as get the globs, heal your necros, and provide damage reduction for the necromancers. Just let the Z necro generate all the fucking globes. It's not your problem at all. Use Falter. This is a multiplicative buff against the enemies as well. Enemies in static 25% increased damage for 6 seconds, which is a lot, trust me, and this makes rift progression much faster as well. The passive is Sparring Presence. This is absolutely mandatory, must have. Pounds of Flash is just for your life regeneration and increased movement speed across the rift. Superstition is basically a bit more damage reduction for non-physical damage. This is pretty good, but can be switched. And Nerves of Steel is an extra layer of damage reduction as well. At the very early game, I can recommend dropping Superstition or Nerves of Steel for the Weapon Master if you feel like you are have big problems generating fury, or if things are dying too fast, you can get Weapon Master as well with this. So this is practically it, guys, and like I said, I'm not a big fan of the zDPS meta, but I really decided to grind a bit Paragon, and this is like the easiest way to get inside the group. As the Barb, I'm playing the Barb, just exclusively Barb this season. I really want to get it done really fast. I don't want to farm Paragons for 3 seasons. I have a lot of things to do. So if you're gonna play the Barb this season, this is your big chance to enter the group as the part of the meta. And I want to say in the end that there are 2 types of barbs for the zDPS setup. One is this, which is the Whirlwind barb for the speed rifts, which is speed from like 90 to 110, maybe even people will even exceed 110 in the end of the season. But right now I have no problems, and I'm playing 100, 105. We even did 110 with this. It's no problem at all. But for the really end game push, you will be playing zDPS charge burb, because you will be charging and you will be pulling the enemies, and I think it's much more important as well. So there are 2 types of barbs. One is the charge barb and one is the Whirlwind barb, and I think the charge barb in the end will be more important at the end game push as well. So this is it, guys. Thanks for watching and see you soon.